It feels good to feel good again, and that is exactly how we're doing over here at Oilers Nation. A nice 3-game heater. That might be exactly what the doctor ordered. Hello and welcome to Pregaming with BORDZY, presented by Sherwood Ford the Giants, live from my version of the Sports Closet studio, where the first YouTube comment of the day comes from the one, the only Lance Kane, and he says, "Let's go Oilers, win or lose. The squad will be here." You're damn right. You're damn right, Lance. The squad will always be here. I will always be here if you do need a backup for that beach vacation, because of course. So hello, everybody. It's game day over here. Pre-gaming is back tonight. So are the Edmonton Oilers. We're feeling good lately. And I have another guy I know who isn't feeling too good lately. He's a little sick, but he's still here. He's still showing up for the people. It's 2 shows today. 2 shows today?
This is number 3
That's
today.
A light day for you.
Yeah,
and
number 3.
Look at him. He's still here. Tyler, how you feeling?
Good. I have my apple cinnamon tea, and when this is done, I'm going to go sit under a blanket for the rest of the night. So giddy up. Riveting.
Yeah, well, hey, we all got our fluids. You got to keep your fluids in you. Mine might be a little different than yours, but hey, you never know. Keep that throat going. But as I said, we're feeling good. I'm feeling good. I feel rejuvenated again. I'm sorry that you're down in the dumps, but we've got some Oilers performances that we've been looking for all season, Tyler. Kind of feels like, I mean, it's only been 2 games, but it's been a fun 2 games. I've been enjoying it. What's the likelihood we're making it 3 in a row tonight?
According to moneypuck.com, it's about 68%, Aaron. And I mean, if the Oilers put forth a similar effort that they did against Seattle and against the Islanders, then the team's going to be in a really good spot. And it sounds, again, kind of dumb to say because it's November 15th, but this is a relatively big game in the standings. If you win tonight, you leapfrog Nashville, you leapfrog Chicago, and you move within 2 points of the Seattle Kraken, or within 2 points of the Seattle Kraken with 2 games in hand. So you have a chance to really kind of shoot yourself up the standings a little bit here, start to gain on some teams that you know you're going to be neck and neck with throughout the entire season. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if both Edmonton and Seattle are battling for a playoff spot in the final couple weeks of the season here. So if you can go out and get this 4-point swing under your belt, it's going to go a long way for the rest of the year.
Yep, we're already comparing stats. I love, before the show, me and Pat were looking at this, and I was like, dude, look, there's yellow on our side. There's more yellow on our side than there is their side. Season's turning around. Everything's coming back. 1-0 in the Knob era. The Garlic Man, Nobby, whatever you want to call him. As Jay said today on ONE, and I really liked it, Ty, said everything's better with a little bit of garlic. I agree. It's a nice little line right there. But lots of moves, lots of news today and yesterday for the Edmonton Oilers, as they have made some moves, recalled Philip Broberg, recalled Raph Lavoie, who was also sent down, just a paper transaction. And of course, it's Adam Erne season part 2, Tyler. He's back, baby. I also like in here, somebody said, is this Tyler's flu game today? I like that. My boy always works hard. You might be throwing down on Betway. This might be your night tonight. But with these new additions, we finally have a full roster. Tyler, are we going to healthy scratch someone tonight? Are we finally here?
Yeah, we're finally back at the point where we can healthy scratch people. Philip Broberg expected to be sitting out tonight. They're going to go with the 12-6 approach. Obviously, with Holloway out for the team's calling it week to week. Jason Gregor says months, plural. So we're going to be missing Dylan Holloway for a while. So that allows Adam Erne to slide back in. Lavoie, like you said, it was a paper transaction. There's that weird rule where once you clear waivers, you can come back and be on an NHL roster for 30 days before needing to be sent back down again. So since the team didn't have a game yesterday, they loaned him back to Bakersfield. So there's one less day counting on that 30-game clock, and also saved him like whatever $20,000 in accrued cap space for the season, some small number like that. So the Oilers stayed busy yesterday on their off day, but the good news is that they finally have a full roster. They're not going to be at any risk of playing one short.
Look at that. I didn't know that. Take that, Ken Holland haters. That sounds like a smart transaction. Sounds like an obvious one, but hey, there you go. Point for Ken. Save one day right there. But you mentioned it, Dylan Holloway. I was also before this, like yesterday, looking up. So is it month to month? Is it week to week? Today, I believe the knob said week to week. So I'm going to follow his wording. A, because I like what he's saying more, and B, he's the Oilers coach. Sorry, Gregor, but he's going to be out for quite a while, which just sucks because his game was just really starting to turn around. Scored a goal, got in a fight. He's been buzzing all over the place. And the way he got injured hurt me even more, Ty. It's just such a man-made, unforced error. He skated right into the boards, smashed his knee. I wanted to ask you this because this was in my boys group chat, and it was asked, is it too early, is it fair to call Dylan Holloway a Band-Aid so far in his young NHL career? You go first.
That's a tough label. And
Right. I don't want to use that label.
yeah, and I mean, when I get concerned about guys is when it's like the same injury, right? Like we always had Oscar Klefbom's shoulder, not to bring that up. I mean, I got his game you stick right behind me. I love Oscar Klefbom, but like his shoulder was always an issue. So every time he went down, it was like, oh my God, this shoulder's still going to be a problem. The fact that with Holloway, it's been upper, lower, this, that, a bunch of different things. A lot of them are just kind of freak accidents as well. Like the one piling into the boards, like, just a result of playing hard. Last year, he gets bumped in like his second or first game down in Bakersfield and has to miss over a month. Like they're different injuries. So I'm not going to give him the Band-Aid label, but it does suck still.
Yeah, I'm also not giving him Band-Aid watch. I defended him in the group chat, if you must know, but he's entering Band-Aid territory. And like, I know that one's a freak accident, but it's also, I guess, a freak accident where he literally, that looked like me on skates out there, Tyler. I have done that very move several times on the ODR. So, hey, athletes just like us. There you go. But Matthias Janmark, he was also retroactively placed on LTIR from October 24th. So I guess let me ask you, break it down for me. How many days is it? And when can we see him back specifically?
So, yeah, it's retroactive to the last game he played. He's got to spend 10 games and 24 days out of the lineup for the, or at least on LTIR. So I don't know how to do the math, but it feels
Somebody
like
do that math for me, please.
Yeah, it's sometime in the next, like, whatever, 7 to 10 days or 5 to 10 days, you could expect Matthias Janmark back. But the nice thing, again, is you're not really sitting here itching for that guy to get back in the lineup. I thought Derek Ryan's coming off a really good game. I think James Hamblin has continued to look comfortable in the NHL. Ralph Lavoie is totally fine. I mean, maybe you'd like to sub out Adam Ernie, but that could come when Connor Brown is finally healthy and he gets back in. So they're not exactly missing Matthias Janmark. So I don't think they need to be rushing him back into the lineup, you know?
Yeah, I do. I see Jake in here. It says Holloway's made of glass. I also see a buddy of mine, Dave, and he said, I've seen Bordsy skate. It's almost as ugly as his golf game. Pat, ban him from the chat right now. Get him out of there. I don't want none of that in there. You're done, Dave. You're done. But the Oilers, so we're back home tonight against Seattle before we head out on a nice Eastern road swing for 4 games. They'll be playing Tampa, Florida, Carolina, Washington on that roadie. So we're going to get a real test of what these boys are made of. And I'd kind of like to beat up on a lesser team right now, get another win in your pocket before we head out on that jet. Ty, we feel good right now. I'm a little nervous about that East Coast road swing, but kind of the first big roadie for the boys. Everybody knows Jay Rosehill always says, for example, on the Leafs Morning Take Show, they're going to Sweden right now. I bet they're hitting the clubs. They're hitting the town. Roadies can be a good thing for the boys. Are you nervous? Day games, earlier games, I like that, but I'm nervous to see Tampa, Carolina. They're going to be real tests.
Well, here's the good news is Tampa Bay is on a slide right now. They've only won 6 of their 15 games so far this season. They've lost 3 in a row. I think their goaltending issues are finally starting to catch up with them. No Andre Vasilevsky, so they've been riding Jonas Johansson and Matty Tompkins, who, I mean, love the story with Matt Tompkins, but still, they're Calvin Pickard level goalies, if we're being honest here. So I think that's finally starting to catch up to Tampa. Oilers actually seem to play Tampa pretty well over the past couple of seasons. Florida, though, red hot. Carolina, getting healthy, playing good hockey. Washington, as it stands right now, 7-1-1 in their last 10, just shut out the Vegas Golden Knights 3-0. So as much as this is weird to say, of that 4-game road trip, Tampa is the easy spot. The other 3 are going to be absolute dogfights, and it's going to be really, really hard for the Oilers to come out of like if they can get out of that road trip at 2-2, as lame as that sounds, as much as they need to start racking up wins, 2-2 is almost okay.
Yeah, I don't have to be okay with that. I'll believe it when I see it with Tampa, just because I always think they're a team that will show up and show out. It's also a day game for that one. Boys never really play great right there, so we'll see. But it's a great night in the NHL tonight. We actually got, it's very evenly spaced out. We even got from Liam today on ONE, a great job NHL, with a thumbs up from Liam. So everyone should be happy. Games I'm interested: Ducks, Avs, Isles, Canucks. Avs lost 3 of 4 before stomping out the Kraken on Monday. I believe that one was 5-1. And the Anaheim Ducks might actually be good. I don't know. Once again, I got to let that one continue to roll. Frank Vetrano, actually good. Ty, explain this Ducks fallacy to me. Are they a Fugazi, whatever the hell Biz calls it, or Matthew McConaughey on Wolf of Wall Street?
I'm a little bit torn on this Ducks team just because they're young and they seem to be playing with a really good purpose under Greg Cronin. And I think, it went bad last year with Dallas Eakins as the head coach, stunner. And
Shocker.
I think maybe the weight of him being gone is propelling this team forward to an extent. Their luck numbers are actually pretty solid. Lucas Dostal's looking like a legit starting goalie in the NHL, which I know people were expecting him to one day be, but probably not this early in his career. I think at some point they probably slow down. They're going to get less offensive production from some guys like Frank Vetrano, who's just shooting the lights out right now. So they'll slow down at some point. I don't think they'll be a playoff team, but if we're being honest, the best thing for the Oilers would be for there to be very few true basement dwellers. I think what you need here is a middle pack in the Western Conference that stays incredibly tight throughout the year, just so everyone's stealing points from everyone. The last thing you need is in the Eastern Conference the last couple of years, where by January there was 8 teams running away with it and everyone else was just screwed because the bottom teams couldn't win games. You look at the West right now, it's San Jose and it's everybody else on top of them. And that's good news because, again, like I said, if you're the Oilers and you win tonight, you jump 2 teams, you get within a point of 2 others. It's very easy to start jumping up spots in the conference. And it's because teams like Anaheim are stealing a lot of points from teams that we didn't think they would.
Moving on up, baby. I can't wait to see us slowly climb. We all know we got to move up. We're going to be moving up. But also tonight, I said Isles, Canucks. For me, it's all about the return of the former captain, Bo Horvat. Bo has said some things in the media, I guess, since his departure. So it'll be very interesting to see how the crowd responds. I did Canucks conversation for well over a year, especially last year when that went on. Canucks fans were none too pleased in the chat. So very curious to see how that's going to go. They saw he had a line and he said, well, I didn't get beat up on the street last night, so it could be okay. Hey, good for you, Bo. I hope they give him a cheer in a little video, and then it just boos for the rest of the game. Go back to business. But speaking of business as well, Raptors in action. They probably should be tipping off. They're probably already
tipped
off underway right now, playing Milwaukee. Liam didn't believe in the Raps this season or Masai Ujiri. In Masai, we trust, and I do. We're only 5-5, but I believe they're taking on the Bucks. But Ty, speaking of the NBA, did you see this? I wanted to bring this on. So Draymond Green last night, in a crazy moment here, chokes the absolute life out of Rudy Gobert in a scrum, and nobody knew what to do. You don't really see anybody choking him back. You see Karl-Anthony Towns there at the end. I love seeing this NHL mindset in the NBA. It's crazy. Of course, it's Draymond Green is the one who does it. Everybody hates Rudy Gobert too, so that's why nobody did a thing about it. But I wanted to ask you, who do you think would be a great enforcer in the NHL? But I feel like Draymond Green, he would be the best enforcer in the NHL. He already is an enforcer, and he's basically Ryan Reeves. They're both pests, and I'm sure they skate the exact same.
Yeah, they both are probably 2 of the top talkers in the league. The skating joke is hilarious. The thing I think is hilarious about when basketball players break out in these, when a hockey scrum breaks out, 2 guys will just look at each other, drop the gloves, and go, right? And it's okay, they know what they're doing. It feels like whenever there's a basketball fight, it's just way more unhinged because there's no code about it. You would never see that in the NHL, or basically never see a guy grab another dude from behind and put him in a chokehold. That's insane.
Yeah, it really is. I just couldn't believe how nobody on the Timberwolves did anything. Karl-Anthony Towns, hilarious visual right there. Then he realized, he's like, oh shit, he is choking the life out of him right there. But hey, that's enough other sports talk. Let's get into the hockey talk. Let's get into our Sherwood Ford Giants storyline this evening. For me, is this the start of the 10-game heater that we've been wanting and joking about for weeks now? I know it started as a joke, it more so started as a literal prayer. I would say I asked God. He's given me 2 games so far, but you've got the ability to start your road trip with 3 wins in your pocket. Like I said, you can seriously make some ground up in the Pacific. We're currently 8 points out of a playoff spot, like you said, and everybody knows the deal with American Thanksgiving, and it's quickly approaching. But if you're not in there by American Thanksgiving, the odds severely decrease. Doesn't mean you won't make it, but I think it's time we got to start stringing them together. Boys look better. It's no time like the present. It's now or never, and it's not going to be easy. Tyler, do you have any Sherwood Ford Giant storylines this evening? Adam Ernie?
I mean, I highly doubt he contributes much at all tonight, but we'll see. Maybe the new coach spark gets to him a little bit. I think I'm just going to agree with you. And it's like, hey, can they keep the ball rolling here? Because what I mentioned about the Western Conference, there being like really only one bad team in the San Jose Sharks, that means there's no gimmies around the NHL. Like you even look at the East, man, like who are the bad teams out East? Columbus, they've picked up points in 12 of 16 games already this year, though. Like the parity around the league is probably stronger than it's ever been. And that means there's not going to be a point in the Oilers schedule where you can sit and be like, finally, 3 games against basement dwellers. Like last year when you'd go play like Anaheim and San Jose in a stretch, you're like, okay,
Those were good
4
times.
points in the bag, right? Like, yeah, we're good. You don't get that anymore in this year's NHL. So the Oilers got to be on their A game. And when you get an opportunity like this one, and like the one you'll get on Saturday, when it's a chance to play teams that are struggling, don't give them any life, right? Like for me, the start is really important tonight for the Oilers. Like hammer them early because Seattle, again, has crumbled in a couple games here. They've lost a lot of hockey over the last couple of weeks. Get on them early, kill their will, and the rest of the game should be fine.
Step on their neck, as they say. But okay, the lineup report is presented by Sherwood Ford, the Giant, Dealer Raiders 23 Dealer of the Year, and 23's Consumer Satisfaction Award winner. They got it all used, new, brand new, mobile service bay. Ty, we said today, winter's coming. And if you don't got your tires on, you don't got your service done yet, get on that. I have mine on. Nation Truck, it's got its tires on, right?
Oh, yeah. Giddy up.
Well, I'm talking to the man. I'm talking to Sherwood Ford himself. You were in the showroom today, and I saw people behind you wearing Oiler jerseys, and I really like that.
The thing I love about Sherwood Ford is when you go into the dealership, like 50, 60% of the staff on any game day throughout the year, they're rocking Oilers gear. It's nice.
That's my kind of dealership right there. Go check them out. But okay, we've got the lineup. We did see 60 consistent minutes against the Islanders, besides injury, because there was that. So I think this segment might actually matter again now, Tyler. But on the top line, it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Sam Gagner, followed by the studs of Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman, who is red hot, 4 goals in his last 2 games, followed by Warren Fogle, Ryan McLeod, and Derek Ryan. He's moving up a bit because, as you see on your screen, he has no number yet, but it's Mr. Adam Ernie on the wing with James Hamblin and Raph Lavoie. Deep pairings continue to stay the same, besides the fact that they did call up Philip Broberg. He's expected to be in the press box tonight. So we're going with Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse with Cody Ceci, and Brett Kulak with Vinny Desharnais. So Nugent Gagner, they were both held off the score sheet on Monday, playing on Connor's wing, a game when we kind of thought everyone was going to get back into it. Nuge is always going to Nuge, in my opinion. I never worry about him and his consistency. It hasn't been a great year, but the Nuge is going to Nuge. That's a phrase I feel like everybody understands when I say that. But I do worry about Sam Gagner. He's not a first-line player. I hate to say it. Don't crucify me, people. But he shouldn't be on that line. He really never should be. We're trying to trap lightning in a bottle here. We're running him out there. Ty, how are you feeling about that combination? Sure, you could bring up Zach Hyman. I get why you don't, because you don't want to mess with a good thing. Hyman's been playing great. Would you see Raph Lavoie up there? Can you switch a young guy like that to the right side? I don't know. What do you think of Sam on the top line still?
The nice thing about him is he generally plays mistake-free hockey, right? Like there's not a ton of moments where you're like, God, Sam, why are you doing that? There's a few moments where you're like, oh boy, if he had an extra little bit of jump in his step,
faster,
then, yeah, like then he would make an extra play or two. But I just don't notice a lot of mistakes in his game. And I also notice a guy with a pretty high offensive IQ. So is he a long-term fixture in this team's top 6? No, he's not. I think at some point, Connor Brown probably comes back into the mix and establishes a spot in the top 6, or Warren Fogle gets back up there, something like that. or they need to go out and find someone on the trade market, but you would hope that doesn't need to be the case since you are going to pay Connor Brown a lot of money next year. But with Gagne, I think as a placeholder, I think he's totally fine. Again, he'll chip in with a little bit of offense. He'll get to the right spots, albeit maybe half a step slower than when some other guys would get there. But for the most part, he's fine. Like Lance even says, he's a placeholder for now, and he's a perfectly good placeholder.
Yep, that's kind of where I was leading to. I believe when Connor Brown comes back, he'll take that spot. Could I see Warren Fogle? But I feel like he's the long-term third liner kind of guy there. Lance Kane said, let's talk Lavoie. How many minutes? In just a second. That leads me into another one there. Nuge is going to be huge. Number one fan. Says Gagne's a good passer. Final buzzer says Sam's too slow. Switch him with Fogle. So let me ask, instead of Fogle, would it be possible to see Raph Lavoie on that top line? I guess it's on his off wing. I don't know if you want to do that to a younger player like that. I don't know. Lance said, let's talk Lavoie minutes. You'd be getting a lot more minutes on that wing, right?
Yeah, I think, and actually, Pack, we keep him up there because I need the visual. I cannot concentrate today. But I think maybe something that could help is, again, when Brown comes back and you have someone with more offensive talent than Adam Ernie down there, it could maybe lead you to build 4 more balanced lines, right? Like Warren Fogle is a more impactful winger right now than Raphael Lavoie. But if you wanted to try build up some sort of balance in the bottom 6, then yeah, maybe you could see a world where if it's Connor Brown down on that right side on the 4th line, you put Fogle on the left side, and now you have James Hamblin playing with a couple of pretty established NHLers, and then Ryan McLeod, the speed, Raph Lavoie, the shot, Derek Ryan is sort of that defensive presence there to keep everything intact and maybe help out on the draws once in a while. The McLeod's usually fine there. But if you wanted to build more balance, then yeah, moving Lavoie up and giving him some minutes with like legit offensive centerman makes a lot of sense. I like the way this is put together right now. I thought McLeod, Ryan, and Fogle were good together once they got thrown together after the Holloway injury. So I'm fine with this for now.
Yep. I love playing the lines game and just picking mentally people in and out. That's how you know you're an absolute hockey nerd. But I'm sure everybody in here, they like doing it too. We always want the lines. Great storyline out of Monday. It was Leon Draisaitl. Had a great game, 4-point night. Got out of a slump. Great night for pissy Leon. But as I said, he did take what I thought was an incredibly dumb penalty. I would like to walk back my take just a little bit because I didn't see the slew foot that kind of came beforehand from Bo Horvat. Now, after watching the tape, yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, break his leg. I do the same thing. I go right at it. I didn't see that before, so hand up. We're honest here on Pregame with BORDZY. I was wrong. Leon, you do whatever you want. But he had a good game. He's human. I had written down, you're going to fight fire with fire for something like that. That's just what you got to do. But Leon's back. Ty, what do you think of his game last game? Tore it up, and are we going to see Leon start scoring again? Look at those numbers right there on Monday.
Yeah, 4 points, and the power play started to get going. Leon had a couple of shifts where he looked like himself. Like, that's all really, really important. The thing that's going to stand out the most to me is just I want to keep seeing the numbers get put up when he's not on the ice with Connor, right? Like, if the Oilers can have both 97 and 29 enter a little 10-game window where they're both on heaters and both creating at 5-on-5, then that is obviously going to go a very long way in them winning games. So keeping up the offensive production at 5-on-5, which, again, the goal, awesome. The fact that they were kind of dominating play for long stretches, even better. And there was no defensive zone mistakes between Hyman, Kane, and Draisaitl. So yeah, I liked what I saw there, and Draisaitl needs to keep being that driver.
We worry about defense on that line, but as long as they're putting the puck in the back of the net, it makes that pill easier to swallow. Evander Kane, he's been a great factor this season. What does he have? I believe 12 points, 14 games. That's the Evander Kane I wanted when we re-signed and did all this stuff with him. He's the most polarizing player possibly in the NHL. You either love him or you love to hate him and say very mean things about him online. But right now, I got nothing but big love for big number 91, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, again, I talked about Draisaitl being a driver. I think Kane for stretches this year has been a real driver, and just what he brings is so unique, right? Like, if he can get that scoring touch going, he had an unreal look last game against Sorokin, and he hit, like, Sorokin got a piece of it. It hit the side of the post, and you saw Kane do the look straight up at the ceiling thing afterwards, but he goes through stretches where every one of those looks go in. Again, one of the guys on this team who was just snake bit for a while, who struggled in the effort department. Now he's not struggling in the effort department. You make your own breaks. Let's see if he starts finding the back of the net a little bit more.
I'm loving the stuff in the chat here. Number one fan. If Lance wasn't hurt, Ernie wouldn't be up. Lance, I guess, is going to be playing on the right wing on the fourth line. I'd like to see it, Lance. You are red hot with your luck lately. I think you won a prize in ONE. You won the beach vacation. It's Lance's world. We're just living in it, Ty. But moving down the lineup, Ryan McLeod back on the third line. We say this every game, every time we talk about Ryan McLeod. I love his speed. I love his fluidity. I love this line from Jay today on ONE when he said he needs to go to the Zach Hyman dojo of effort. Absolutely grind it out, put the head down, get in front of the net. We've been saying this over and over for the whole season. I don't know if that's ever going to change, Tyler.
Yeah, he's still so young, but man, we talked with Bruce Kurlock the other day about this on ONE too, and it's he's so big, he's so smart, but yet he doesn't want to take the puck to the net. He eases off with his speed at just these weird moments, and there is such a quality player somewhere in there. He just needs to have a come to Jesus moment and be like, oh my God, I skate faster than everyone. I'm bigger than most guys on the ice. If I just put my head down and drive to the middle of the ice, a bunch of good things are going to start happening. He's just always been such a perimeter player, and it drives me bananas. And I really want it to just click. Keep in mind, we saw that a lot with Warren Fogle last year, right? When he was in his down parts, it's perimeter hockey. You barely notice him out there outside of skating fast up the ice. This year and the last 2 months of last year, quite honestly, it clicked for Warren Fogle, and he hasn't forgotten how to do that. Ryan McLeod, you said the Zach Hyman school of effort. Look at your line mate, dude. That guy's busting his dojo, sorry. Look at Warren Fogle. That guy's busting his ass every shift. McLeod needs to play more like Fogle, which is an insane thing I did not think I'd be saying at the beginning of the season.
But here we are, contract year Warren Fogle. It's a different Warren Fogle. Last game I said, can we just keep giving him 1 year deals? Because I love this guy right now. But looking for Ryan McLeod, 2 points in 14 games, two apples.
No goals.
I don't have to tell you that's not good enough. I'm sure I don't have to tell him. As I said, it's Adam Ernie season tonight. He's back in the lineup. I guess this is a general question for you. Are we done seeing 11-7 now that Jay Woodcroft is out of town? I don't know much about the Nobby, Mr. Garlic, the Vampire Hunter. Is 11-7 pretty much dead, Ty?
Yeah, so they asked him about that today, and he seemed to not be a big fan of it. It's a benefit for the forwards, and I think that benefit for the Oilers, that's big. If you can have, again, Lavoie and Brown as your fourth line wingers, you take Hamblin out of the lineup, and McDavid and Draisaitl are rotating in on that fourth line with two guys with skill, with scoring touch, then giddy up. I think you could be really doing something. But the downside is it totally throws your blue line out of whack. Again, I like it, but the sense is that Chris Knobloch really doesn't like it. So I would be surprised if we see it at any points other than it's an absolute necessity. Someone is sick in warmups. They don't have the extra forward, so they're just going to dress 11-7 just to have an 18 skater.
Damn, I loved 11-7 last year. Give me more 97. Give me more 29. Yeah. But hey, in the Knob, we trust. Pledge your allegiance to the Knob. Deep Herring stay the... That sounded weird. Deep Herring stay the same. Broberg will be scratched again tonight. I guess I'll ask you this. None of us know. How do you see Knobloch kind of deploying Philip Broberg in this Vinny Desharnais thing and the D in general? Because last game, I feel like I saw the numbers were a little closer. Was Cody Ceci the high point man on time of ice?
Yeah, he was. He led the whole team in time on ice, both at all strengths and at 5-on-5. Here's what I like about the idea of Broberg and this new coaching staff. Evan Bouchard the other day had some really interesting comments about how Paul Coffey wants them playing with speed, with pace, moving the puck quicker, basically working towards their strengths as a blue line, which is exactly that. The Oilers are best when they play with pace. Vinny Desharnais does not play with a tremendous amount of pace. I love him in the D zone, right? Solid, rugged D-man. It's good. But Philip Broberg brings you speed and pace. And they got a road trip coming up here where Knobloch said he thought it was important for Broberg to be up and be on the road trip. You probably aren't dragging that guy on a long 10-day road trip to park him in the press box the whole time. If you wanted to do that, you would have recalled Ben Gleason and just been like, hey, man, you're getting NHL paychecks. Enjoy. Sit there and eat popcorn for a couple hours every night and practice hard. So I think they're calling up Broberg with the intention to play him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Coffey and Chris Knobloch really like what they see, because, again, Broberg just has that ability to play with more pace than Desharnais.
Yep, I'm very interested to see how this Coffey Bouchard thing and Coffey Philip Broberg is going to roll out, because we love Paul Coffey here in Edmonton. And if he can rub off some of that magic, as long as we still have some defensive players, hey, let's let him run wild. That's Bouchard's game. As long as you can insulate him with somebody like Matthias Ekholm. Last Oilers question, Connor Brown not in the lineup tonight, which I was surprised given Jason Gregor's videos I saw yesterday, battling one-on-one very hard in practice. Looked good to me. Looked better than I've seen him all year. Surprising to you, Tyler? What do you know when you think we're going to see him back on this roadie?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the way he was battling in practice and the fact that he's like taken warm-ups before since being injured, like he's obviously not that injured. He's clearly getting close. So you don't play him tonight. You don't risk it. You give him 2 more days off and then you hit the road. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if it's Saturday against Tampa that we see him draw back in.
I see final buzzer here said Broberg got a puck in the face last night. I don't know if that happened. Wish Jack Campbell would take a couple pucks to the face, because maybe he'd stop them that way. We'll leave that. But let's get into the goalie talk right now. Your starting goaltenders tonight are brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Tyler, you had a look. You had a look at the building today.
I did.
It was within eye shot. You guys stood up out of frame to go and look at it. It looks good. It's a sick exterior. I drive past it all the time. They're teaming up with the good people at Sherwood Ford to relocate to Sherwood Park. Brand new state-of-the-art facility in the heart of Sherwood Park, right by Millennium, right by Sherwood Ford, the Giants. It's got great stuff in there. The service bay we talked about, you just drive your boat on in. They got the giant 91,000-liter test pool. We talked about today doing a show ONE from a vehicle someday. I can't, and the boat. I want to do it from a pontoon boat. I want to actually find a way to get Wi-Fi on the water. We'll do a fishing episode one day. Opening February 2024, 371 Lakeland Drive. It's not close to my house, but it's semi-close to my house. We can come hang afterwards. But okay, Pat, pull it up for me. The starting goaltender matchup tonight. It's Stu Daddy again. Stuart Skinner versus Joey Decord. So you see the numbers on your screen. Stu is 3-5-1 with a 3.26 goals against average and an 8.76 save percentage. Been very good since Jack Campbell left. Then it's Joey Decord, 8 games. He's 2-2-3 with a 289 and a 903. I hate that he has yellow on his side and we don't have it on ours, but we'll take what we can get. As I said, Stuart Skinner, he's been great as of late, 2 games in a row. Save percentage that starts with a 9. That's all I need. Since we let go of Jack, you think there it is on your screen. Perfect, Pat. 21 saves a game, 167 goals against and a 916 save percentage. Boom, baby. That's the Stu I want. That's my rookie of the year, Stu. Tyler, can he keep this going for this foreseeable future?
We saw him, like, the thing I loved about Stu last year was when you break up his season into like 8 to 10 game chunks, it was remarkably consistent. He was a consistent NHL goalie last year. Was he bad the first 5 weeks of this season? Yes, no one is pretending he wasn't, but is a number 1 goalie still in there under that mask? I just have a hard time believing he magically forgot how to play hockey. Like, come on, these numbers are legit. His numbers on the season are slowly climbing back to respectability. So I absolutely believe they can get a little heater here out of Stuart Skinner. The more interesting question for me is still, and has nothing to do with tonight's game, it's when do you give him a breather? How long can you really ride this guy until you go, okay, he's going to hit a brick wall. We need to give him 3 days off and find a good start for him. That's the interesting one.
Yep, I agree. I love that Campbell and Stu can't both completely forget how to play hockey, right, Tyler? They can't just both. Whatever happened this summer, Stu's back. Stu's back. It's just one that we kind of need to forget about. I feel bad for Jack Campbell, man. The more we talk about it,
I know.
Get it off the screen. I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to look at the stats. I don't even want to see them, Pat. They're gross. They're disgusting. The goals against have just been awful in the AHL. I know the puck's the same size. Somehow he's playing worse. But it's 27-year-old veteran Joey Decord tonight. He's been respectable. But I don't know. He's not a stud goaltender. My confidence with this team, the Oilers, we've been getting so many shots on goal per game lately. Ty, we got to light this guy up, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a bunch of times when they were losing, and it's you can only get shut out and shut down by so many backup goalies in a season, right? Like eventually things are going to turn around a little bit for you. So that's what I'm hoping here out of Joey Decord. You saw his numbers there kind of on the season. He's been fine. He has played against the Oilers though 4 times in his career, 3 starts. He hasn't won a single one of them. He's got a 3.86 goals against average and an 868 save percentage against the Oilers. He doesn't play that well against Edmonton. They seem to have his number a little bit. So fingers crossed they can keep that rolling up tonight.
That's right, baby. But I like the point that you were making earlier with Skinner. So right now, he's the guy. We're rolling with the guy. It's a question of how many games in a row can you give him before he needs a break. At least the way the schedule is going right now, not many back-to-backs for this stretch. So, hey, we can keep him going. But he clearly can't play 60-plus games a season. We saw last year what happened in the playoffs. Boom. I don't want to see that again. I want to keep him fresh. But I don't really want to see Calvin Pickard or Pickard, whatever you want to call him, just yet. If there's days off in between games, I want my best foot forward. I want Stu. I don't think I want to see Pickard until Washington. Even then, I don't know. But that leads me to a further conversation. I keep hearing people online, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Reddit, about the Olivier Rodrigue frustration. So he's playing tonight, right, for the Bakersfield Condors in Calgary or against Calgary. Hopefully he has better numbers than Jack Campbell. But I feel like everyone's being classic Oiler fans here. He's played 2 games in the AHL. Sure, they've been good games. He's a young player, and they want to see him get called up. Tyler, the irony of Oilers fans always rushing up skaters to the NHL for the past 20 years, my whole life it feels like. And now fans are demanding we call up a goaltender who's very young, who is much more susceptible to the mental game after 2 games in the AHL here. That's absolutely nuts to me. I don't know. Pickard is more proven to me. Sure, has he not been a great NHL goalie, but he's had good numbers in the A, and he's proven to me. Am I off on this one, or where do you stand?
I want to see him play a little bit more in the American League. I'm with you. Everyone keeps going 968 save percentage. And it's like he's played 2 games this year. Like he has not been a superstar goalie all year in the American League. Give him a little bit of time. Pickard has played in the league before. He's not going to be like overwhelmed by the moment or anything like that. He's the safe play. The only thing I think is disappointing right now is that Jack Campbell keeps eating up the starts in the American League because they're trying to get him back on track. I think at some point you got to pull the pin on the Jack Campbell experiment and just go, you know what? Not happening this year, Soup. You're done. You're the backup. We're giving Rodrigue 8 of the next 10 games. And if he keeps being a stud, then we know we might have an answer here. So I think they need to play him on a good run in the American League. See what you have in this guy. He clearly has some ceiling. Maybe he could be another Stuart Skinner for you. Stuart Skinner came up as a rookie and was an all-star. Maybe you can get that again out of Olivier Rodrigue or like something close, just quality backup starts. So there's ceiling there, but you need to let him get warmed up and get acclimated and play some pro games, and then you can make that call.
Yep, exactly. And Pickard's more proven. I see it here. Brendan said the disrespect to Pickard, haha, he's been solid in the past. Yep, exactly. I still remember him as the World Juniors goalie. So I'm loyal to my guys. Okay, I'm loyal to a fault. I'm like a golden retriever sometimes. It's not the first time I've heard that. But okay, that's enough for the starting goaltenders. Stu versus Joey tonight. I think we might be able to win that battle. But let's get into the Kraken lineup. Ty, I'll let you go quickly. We'll go through this fast and get into the betting talk. I see my boy Gavin is waiting in the wings right there. He just gave me a nice Captain Felton salute. But the Kraken lineup, it's brought to you by Greta. Greta's the best. Go downtown. Hey, Oilers are in town right now. You know, after that game, people are going to be trickling on out. What's a better place to go? Greta. Get some deals, get some drinks, play some games, keep her going. I love Greta, and I haven't been in over 7 days, and that's starting to get the shakes, brother. Starting to get the shakes. But okay, Pat, pull it up for me if you can bring it here. The Seattle Kraken expected lineup, projected roster. There's a fresh face back in there. They got a boost. It's number 7, Jordan Eberle. Top line, Jared McCann, Matty Beniers, and Ebbs. followed by Jaden Schwartz, Alex Wenberg, and another boost, Brandon Tanev. Third line of Eli Tolvanen, Yanni Gord, and Oliver Bjorkstrand. Then it's Ty Cartier, like the watch, like the Sunnies, like the designer glasses, with Pierre-Edouard Bellemare and Tyler Yamamoto. You might recognize him from the top line the last time we played the Kraken, and boy, he got sent down when Ebbs came back. It's a shame it has to be ex-Oiler on ex-Oiler crime. D pairings are Vince Dunn with Adam Larson, Jamie Alexiak with William Borgen, and Brian Dumoulin with Justin Schultz. So let me ask you here, Ty. Jordan Eberle back in the lineup after suffering a brutal cut. I've had the same injury, and I'm stunned that he's coming back this quick already, because when I split my leg open on my thigh, buddy, every step I took, I could feel it like, yeah, exactly. I don't even want to get into it. It's gross. So I feel like he's not at 100%. And I wanted to bring this up because it was brought on ONE today. Jay said to attack Eberle's leg. You cringed. So did Liam. Guys in the chat were like, no, Jay, you can't do that. Tyler, I might agree with Jay in a moment like that. If you know a guy has an injury like that, you'd be crazy not to attack it and go at it. If you're not healthy enough to play, don't play. I know it's my sweet boy Ebbs, and I don't want to see him get hurt, but it's the NHL, man. I don't care who it is, ex-Oiler or not. If I know a guy's playing banged up, I'm going for it. Where do you come out on that one? No?
No, he's not. This isn't a playoff series. He's not a superstar player anymore. Let Jordan Eberle exist. He probably won't hurt you that bad tonight. He won't be the reason the Seattle Kraken win. You're fine. Just let him be. Let him skate around on a half-working leg as much as he wants.
Okay, I'm the bad guy. Hand up. Hand up. I love you, Ebbs. You're nothing but in my heart forever. But hey, if we got to do what we got to do, I'm okay with it. I said Brandon Tanev back in the lineup after sustaining a lower body injury, I believe in game number 2 of the season. He should bring some juice to this lineup tonight, right, Ty?
Yeah, he should. Again, just a really quality, consistent NHLer. Is he a top 6 guy? No, I think that's largely the problem with this Kraken team is like, I like Beniers, I like Eberle, I like McCann, and then they kind of just have a bunch of mid third liney kind of guys on the rest of this roster. So I don't think they have the ability to outscore the Oilers if Edmonton is flying. The only thing that could change that is if Edmonton decides to gift them goals. I mean, Stu's got to play good. You got to prevent odd man rushes, and you should be solid.
Yep, exactly. Third line of Tolvanen, Yanni Gord, Bjorkstrand. That's solid third line. Doesn't really scare me. Yep. Nothing really there. But you see Tyler Yamamoto on the fourth line. He was on the first with McCann and Matty Beniers. Tonight he's way back down the lineup. That's the Tyler Yamamoto. I remember Tyler. That's my sweet little boy. Tough sledding for him so far this year. You got to see him up close and personal in Seattle. How do you look? Very little?
I didn't really notice him all that much. Like even Devon Shore, I know people are like, oh, would love a guy. No, come on, let's be real, everybody. We remember the Yamamoto we saw last year. That's kind of who Tyler Yamamoto is. He's a bottom 6 guy. So yeah, I'm not expecting huge things from him, although I think he'll probably get a nice video tribute tonight.
You should. Oh yeah, that'll be very nice. Nice. I can't wait to see that. No Devon Shore tonight. Final question. Most likeliest ex-Oiler to score a goal. Adam Larson, Justin Schultz, Jordan Eberle, Tyler Yamamoto, go.
I mean, the betting odds would probably tell you Eberle, but I'll go ahead and I'll say Adam Larson sneaks one in somehow tonight, and the Oilers win 5-2, but Larson gets his first goal in probably forever.
Okay, I lied. Now this is my last question. You mentioned it today in passing, slightly on ONE under your breath about Jordan Eberle. Possible trade deadline acquisition. You put it out there in the universe, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, man, I would love to see that. It'd be like Gagne 2.0 return.
Well, okay, so if we look at the Oilers lines, we were talking about Sam Gagne being a placeholder in the top 6, right? And, like, you don't really have anyone else for that area. Okay, well, Jordan Eberle is a right winger who can score. He had a good playoffs last year for Seattle. Maybe he could be that guy for you. Maybe he slots in perfectly there. The only difficult part is finding a way to squeeze in his $5.5 million cap hit. Like, it would need to be retained. You would need to have Warren Fogle going the other way, and that's all going to cost you a decent amount to do at the deadline. Or, I mean, maybe they could squeeze him in if they accrue enough cap space and go with a more minimum roster. I don't exactly know how the math works on that, but if you're looking for a scoring right winger, there might not be a better rental on the market, or there will be very few better rentals on the market than Jordan Eberle. They probably will have bigger fish to fry, though. They need a goalie.
Yeah, exactly. But we do know he looks very good in blue and orange. So you can confirm that. That'll look very good. Okay, Ty, that's it for all of the lineup talk. I know you're not feeling well. You did a great flu game. So I'm going to let you leave. I've got, I hate to say it, but a more jacked version of coming on in. So Ty, say your goodbyes, and I'll bring in my boy Gavin.
Yeah, you guys, you're going to the bullpen a little bit here in the 8th inning, and I thank you for that. So shout out to everyone in the chat. I promise to be back tomorrow, 12:01 Mountain on Owen every day.
Give it up. Stick taps for Tyler in the chat, everybody. Stick taps. Okay, Gavin Turanek, here you are. It's time for Betway 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Gav, how you doing today? Oh, are you muted? You're muted.
Bordsy, ready to make it 3 in a row here for the Oil tonight.
That's right,
and
baby.
Back on the betting track. I think we're back-to-back losses in our Betway bets, so let's get back on track with that today too.
Yeah, it has been going well lately. Thank God I had a very productive Sunday on Betway for the NFL. Kind of refilled the bankroll because been hemorrhaging a little bit when it comes to the Oilers. But okay, Pat, can you pull up some statistics for me tonight? So if you're new here, we're going to give you some stats, give you some bets. You're going to help us pick it in the YouTube chat. First one, Stuart Skinner has a .957 save percentage and 1 goals against over his last 2 starts. Money. The Oilers are coming off a 4-1 victory last Saturday night against the Kraken less than a week ago. The memories are fresh. McDavid posted 1 goal and 5 shots on net on Monday against the Isles. Seattle is currently allowing 3.5 goals per game, 25th in the NHL. Draisaitl, Leon, that is coming off of a 4-point performance on Monday. 1 goal, 3 assists. The Edmonton Oilers roll into tonight in winners of back-to-back, outscoring their opponents 8-2 during that span. That's going to help the goal differential. We love it. Without further ado, bring up Bordzy's bankroll for me. There you see it. Pat, can you please make a poll? Boom. As I say that, he throws it in there. My guy. Stick taps for Pat. Stick taps for Pat as well. Your choices are the under 6.5, currently at plus 110. Second option, McDavid anytime goal. As he opened the floodgates, he was able to squeak one in the last game. So, hey, maybe that's only plus 105. Surprising because, as I was pointing out today, there's a lot of guys who have more goals in the NHL than Connor McDavid right now. But it's still Connor McDavid. Final one, Edmonton Oilers to win, and Leon Draisaitl to get 1+ point. Gavin, let me ask you, which one of these do you like the most?
I think the one right there in the middle, AB. I like McDavid anytime goal. Obviously, we've seen in the past that McDavid kind of scores in bursts. I know this year hasn't really been accustomed to that, but I truly believe McDavid is off his so-called schneid, and I think he pots one again here tonight.
I see everybody in your number one fan, McDavid Magic Show tonight. Pulls a rabbit out of it. I would love to see that magic.
Yeah, and he put the puck on net 5 times last game, so he's finding the net. So I think he's going to get that puck luck, and we've seen it last game too. He had one kind of squeak through Sorokin, so I think he got that monkey off his back.
And I feel like Seattle's a team that this can be done against. You know, kind of walked through them in the playoffs. We played good against Seattle Kraken.
We do.
I don't know if they're going to be able to match up all that well with Connor McDavid when he's running around the way he does right now. That is for sure in the lead at 50%. McDavid anytime goal. Second is Edmonton to win and dry 1 point. I like that one too. I feel confident with the Oil on the money line tonight. Draisaitl to just get 1 point. It's not even a power play point.
Yeah.
Feels pretty juicy to me too there. I like plus 135. I like plus sides.
Yeah, I like that. Man, you cannot go wrong with a plus money bet. So, and that's why I picked all 3 of them today. So we're chasing the juice today.
Yep, you damn right we are. Pat, are you there right now? Just maybe you can just audio. Anything jumping out to you right there? What do you like? Throwing down on? You always got shot parlays. Or shot
parlays. I'm usually a shot guy, but honestly though, right now I'm feeling pretty good about Edmonton to win Draisaitl 1+ point. Like you said, the floodgates are open for Connor and Draisaitl, so that point's going to come, and I'm feeling good about a win tonight. Honestly, I'm 50-50 on the under 6.5 because I think those floodgates are open, and I think Connor, they're going to come tonight. They're going to bring it. So, McDavid anytime goal, that's a lock right now too, like you said. So, I like those 2 on the right. The one on the left, 50-50 to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know me. If you watch the show, I hate betting unders. We did bet the under recently and it hit, but I
Mhm.
felt dirty. Like I needed a
Yeah,
shower right
life's too short
after.
to bet the under unless it wins, right?
Exactly.
True.
And then you feel
True.
a genius. But I don't know. Tonight doesn't feel like a night like that for me. I want to get fired up. The last game, the second period, was a snooze fest.
It
I could
was
have
a snooze
slept
fest and a half.
Mhm.
the entire time. Lots of people in here in the chat. Hey, once again, if you're in here, I appreciate you. Please throw down a like. Please subscribe to the channel. You can't comment unless you're subscribed. That's how we steal subscriptions. Get in there, say a couple things. Tell Gavin he's handsome. I see people in there who are already. Is that Christopher Paulman? Attaboy, Gavin. That's why you are my number one boy. Or number
Thanks,
one
Chris.
boy. Not even his number one
Whoa.
boy. Look at that, Gav. Getting all the love. Christopher Palmer also says parlay kind of night. Yeah,
Why
yeah,
not?
It might be. I feel like I want to chase the juice. Did you see today on ONE, Jay? So they do their betting segment where
Yep.
they're always competing.
Yeah,
Liam, Ty, Jay. Today he's betting on a McDavid hat trick, which is 28-1.
okay. Like I like that juice. Like I actually bet McDavid first goal scorer and McDavid 2+ goals tonight. And that was only a +600, but +2800. My God. I respect
exactly.
it.
I'm going to end this show with like 3 minutes to go so I can for sure get my bets in. I keep stressing
Yeah, it's
out
always a struggle.
every
Getting that
time
last
before.
one in.
But Gavin, couple Oiler questions I just want to pick your brain with. I don't know how you feel about this, but you hear, so the Oilers locker room got switched up, right? They came in and they wanted to change up where the stalls are. I believe it's the D-men that are all sitting down next to each other. What do you kind of think of that move? Is that for a new coach to come in and already start moving guys around? I like it because it's to keep position groups together. It seems to make more sense. I also saw them on the ice at practice. They're in jersey groupings. It's like top six is this color, bottom six is this, D's that. Feels more organized. I feel like there's more structure, maybe. Maybe that's the 12 and 6 thing too. What are your initial thoughts on the knob law era? And yeah.
No, I absolutely love it because, like, even like when Knob took over, he said it was going to take a little bit for him to kind of make this quote unquote his team, right? And just by doing like these small things, he's doing that. So I absolutely love the move by Knoblaw to kind of maybe switch it around the locker room, like you said. And the jersey group just makes complete sense. So I like it. He's putting a snap on this team right away.
I see Christopher in here. He said Liam ain't British. Did I call him British? If I did, I apologize so much.
Okay.
I'm so scared. Oh no, he's talking to March.
Liam
No,
hates that.
He's talking to March. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I've been in the doghouse before.
Yeah, don't let Liam
actively
hear that. Don't let Liam hear that because I think Waz called him that once and it didn't go over so well at Nation HQ.
I see it in the chat. Dukes91 asked, have you showed the lines yet? Pat, can you bring up the lines again? We're a family here. If Dukes was a little late, all he's got to do is throw the like down, and then, hey, we'll give him what he wants here. It's Nuge, Connor, Gagne. The lines are pretty much the same as the other game. You just see numberless Adam Ernie on the bottom right of your screen right there. I guess, Gavin, Ernie, how many minutes do you think we're going to see that fourth line get tonight? We did see more evenly spread out last game. There was also the Dylan Holloway injury, so that could have been a factor. But it seems at least one game in that the Knobs were willing to roll these a little bit, at least more than Woody did.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of took the words right out of my mouth there. If it was still Woodcroft behind the bench, I would say maybe, just maybe he hits 4 minutes, but I'll put him in the 7-minute range today. I'll give Ernie a little bit of love on that fourth line.
There we go. Look at that. If he gets 8 minutes here, there's been so much negativity and just chirps thrown Adam Ernie's way.
Oh, he
I
gets
feel like
it
I
so
don't
bad.
actually know what kind of player he is. Like, I still haven't seen enough of it.
No.
I can think of like 2 things he did, and most of them were after the whistle, trying to get in a scrum. Gavin, I also saw this on our Instagram today, or our social media, getting it out, but it said Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is now played under 24 different coaches.
Saw that post.
That's assistants included. So that is a cherry pick stat. Of course, that's the shock value of 24, but that's still nuts. I counted 9 different head coaches, I believe, for him.
Yeah, it was
Tom
9.
Rennie, Kruger, Akins, Todd Nelson, Todd McClellan, Hitchcock, Tippett, Woody, the Knob. That's insane. That is absolutely
Why can't we just have a
insane
John
head
Cooper,
coach.
Matt? Why can't we just have a coach just stay here for a long tenure? I honestly thought that's what Woody was going to be. You know, Woody comes in, he's a young coach. I thought he was going to be our John Cooper, but kind of putting it back on Nuge. Poor Nuge, man. But like, honestly, at the same time, he's like, oh, is it your guys' first time? Definitely not mine. Like, you just had 24 different coaches during that span. That's absolutely bizarre. That's a bizarre stat. But, oh, poor Nuge. Poor Nuge.
Poor Nuge. He's seen it all. I've been seeing a lot. I listened to Pardon My Take today, and they called Connor McDavid a coach killer, and I was just gripping my steering wheel, just like don't say
I
that.
just
Like
clicked
I know
my
it was
fifth
a
as soon
joke.
as you said that too. Oh,
I hated it. Let me know in the chat if you listen to Pardon My Take. And
especially like
also
when
in
people call
AWL.
like McDavid like the LeBron of the NHL. That whole narrative was absolutely grinding my gears. I could not stand that either.
See, I get kind of caught in the middle there because if you don't know, I'm the ultimate LeBron hater. I despise
I know
LeBron
that.
James. My reason being, I was such a Raptors fan back in the day. I still have my Chris Bosh jersey, and Chris Bosh leaving Toronto broke my heart so much. Them going to Miami, but I couldn't really take it out on him. I could only take it out on LeBron. So he's been going at him forever. The GM things, of course, always, but calling Connor the GM made my blood boil.
Oh,
I chirp LeBron because he's always done this, but he makes the moves. Same time, I say, if I have the best player on planet Earth on my team, I'm asking him everything, every move I make. I'm handing blank checks over.
well, especially because we have to
I'm
re-up his
kissing that guy's
contract.
ass. Let's just say it.
Yeah, services, so to speak, but at the same time, he's not LeBron James. Come on.
Hey, Lance Kane says, me too, Bordsy, me too. Yeah, we can all rise up to hate LeBron James. Jay Rosehill on Leafs Morning Take. We really have no reason to ever talk about LeBron. He probably brings him up once a week just so he can get in there and just finish him off.
Just those
with chirps.
jabs.
Okay, look in here. Let's end the poll so I can get in my bets a couple minutes prior. McDavid, anytime goal at plus 105, I
105.
believe it was.
105.
That's what we're rolling with tonight, people. Let me try and get this one in. Gavin, tell the people what else you've thrown down on tonight, or did you already?
Yeah, so
mention?
I'm McDavid heavy tonight. I have McDavid to score first at plus 600. I have Connor McDavid 2+ goals at plus 600 as well. Honestly, I think this is Connor McDavid's night. Like I said, we all know he's accustomed to scoring in spurts. We haven't seen that yet this year, but that starts tonight.
There is more money in my account than I remembered being in my account.
Isn't
That
that the
is one
best?
of the best
That is-
feelings
oh,
that exists right there. I just
love
perked
it.
up right there. I'm like, oh yeah, man. Let's
Yeah.
go. Betway. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Bordsy, you buying the Oilers cup ring? No, if I could afford it, I would. But no, I got bills to pay. Lance, Rusty, hating LeBron is a family tradition in my house. You'd be welcome in my house too then, Rusty. I'll be over for Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, it's 27 minutes past the hour, about to be 28. I think this is a good time to sign off. I can figure out the amount of units I'm going to put down on this one. I love you all. Thank you to our sponsors, Sherwood Ford, Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, Greta. You know I love Greta. Betway, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. On After Dark tonight, it's the same guys on your screen right now. It's
The
me and
dynamic
Gavin.
duo.
Gavin's pulling producing duty and co-host duty tonight. Everybody's got to step up. It's Tyler's flu game today. You're stepping up. I'm just always here hanging out pre and post. So consistency is key. I love you all. Have a great game. I hope you hit all your bets. We'll make the After Dark event, and you guys can all leave your comments in there.
Yep.
Then I can read them when we are talking an inevitable win for the Edmonton Oilers.
3 in a row.
See you in
Let's
a
do it.
couple hours, everybody, and let's go Oilers.